A monkey once screamed, "Predator!" when there was no predator at all. The others ran, and while they were looking for danger, he took the food. That is the uncomfortable part of this question. Lying is not only a human sentence. Sometimes it is a sound, a gesture, a direction of gaze, or a silence used at exactly the right moment. Scientists usually avoid saying animals lie in the human moral sense. A lie implies knowing the truth, knowing another mind can be misled, and choosing to mislead it. That is difficult to prove in an animal, so researchers use a colder term, tactical deception. In 2009, researchers studying wild tufted Capuchin monkeys tested whether alarm calls could be used deceptively during feeding. Capuchins have calls that normally warn the group about predators, but in competitive food situations, some monkeys gave alarm calls when no predator was present. The result was immediate. Others moved away from the food. The caller gained access. To a human, it looks like crying wolf. To science, the question is sharper. Was the monkey intentionally lying, or had it simply learned that a certain sound moves competitors away? Either way, the signal was false, and it worked. Ravens take deception into a different world. They do not need a false alarm, they need privacy. Ravens hide food for later, but other ravens watch. A cache seen by the wrong bird can become a stolen meal. So ravens change how they hide food when they are being observed. In studies by Thomas Bugner and colleagues, ravens behave differently depending on who could see them. Some withheld information about where they cached food. Some returned later to move caches after being watched. In other experiments, ravens seemed to track which competitors had visual access to a hiding place. That means the deception was not just noise, it involved attention. A raven hiding food is not only asking, "Where should I put this?" It may also be asking, "Who saw me put it there?" And once another mind becomes part of the problem, the animal world becomes much less simple. Geladas show deception where the stakes are not food, but punishment. In the highlands of Ethiopia, geladas live in complex social groups. Males guard reproductive access to females, and cheating can be dangerous. In a 2013 study, researchers found evidence that geladas altered their mating behavior when a dominant male was nearby. The animals made less noise during extra-pair copulations. They were more likely to conceal the interaction when the male who could punish them was close enough to detect it. This matters because the behavior changed with social risk. Not just mate when possible, mate quietly when the wrong individual might hear. That is not morality, it is strategy. Dogs bring the question into our homes. In a 2017 study, dogs were trained with 3 humans: their owner, a cooperative person who gave them food, and a competitive person who kept the food for themselves. Then the dogs were allowed to lead a human to one of several boxes, one with a preferred treat, one with a less preferred treat, and one empty. With the cooperative person, dogs were more likely to lead them to the good food. With the competitive person, dogs were more likely to lead them away from the best option. The dog had learned something specific. This human helps me get food. This human takes it. And when paired with the second kind of person, the dog's behavior changed in a way that protected its own reward. Again, science is careful. The dog may not have thought, "I will lie now," but it used a misleading action in a social situation where misleading had a benefit. That is close enough to make the question uncomfortable. Primates show the broadest pattern. In their classic work on tactical deception, Andrew Whiten and Richard Byrne collected reports from primate researchers describing animals using ordinary behaviors in unusual contexts to mislead others. A chimpanzee might hide signs of fear. A subordinate might suppress a food call. An animal might look away from something it wants, so a competitor does not notice. Individually, each case can be debated, but together, the pattern is difficult to dismiss. Social animals live in a world where other minds are obstacles, tools, witnesses, rivals, and allies. If another individual can see what you see, hear what you hear, or steal what you found, then controlling what they know can become useful. That is where deception begins, not with evil, not with language, with competition, food, mates, safety, attention. The important question is not whether animals lie exactly like humans. Most probably do not. They do not need legal testimony, moral guilt, or a concept of truth to mislead another animal. A lie may not begin as a sentence. It may begin the first time one living thing learns that what another living thing believes can be useful. Subscribe so you don't miss the next episode.